I Have a Dream speech is probably his most recognizable speech in this country, if not the world. And as many of you may know, he gave this historical speech on August 28th, as it showed, 1963, at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., during the massive march on Washington for Jobs and Freedoms. King's speech was of great historical significance for many reasons. Besides, the inspirational were passed, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. One of the many reasons why I'm so excited about MLK this year is because a number of upper school Taft students and faculty will have an opportunity to visit the historic Lincoln Memorial where King delivered his speech, while also attending the historic inauguration of President Barack Obama. Similarly, I'm excited about MLK this year because our program will broaden our horizons to the depth of King's work. Many people think that Dr. King's work began and ended with his I Have a Dream speech, but there was so much more to Dr. King. He was influenced by a number of great thinkers and change agents such as Mahatma Gandhi, the lawyer who became the famed leader of the Indian revolts against British rule through his philosophy of nonviolent protest. Gandhi once said, "The best way to lose yourself is to find yourself in service to others." Likewise, King had a similar notion of service. In his last sermon, The Drum Major Instinct, he admonished us to live our life in service to others. Let's listen closely. The irony about this sermon is that it was the very last one that King gave. Again, it was his last sermon, not his last speech. His last speech was, "I've been to the mountaintop." He delivered the sermon on February 4th, 1968, and was assassinated exactly 2 months later to the date, on April 4th, 1968. The highlight of the sermon for me is King's exhortation that everybody can be great because anybody or everybody can serve. It was abundantly clear that Dr. King's notion of service complements our school's motto, to serve, not to be served. Our school's commitment to this ideal is evident through many ways, such as allowing students to participate in service trips over the spring and summer breaks, allowing students to be involved and engaged in volunteer council, through service opportunities after school, through our annual Community Service Day and Senior Community Service Day, through the Red Rhino Foundation, our offering a service learning course, and through granting funds to participate in travel service opportunities through pool grants, which you heard about from your peers at Tuesday's morning meeting. So then, why exactly is this ideal of service so important? I would say it is because, in part, through service that character is built. Furthermore, it is through service that communities are strengthened, individuals are empowered, and that includes the giver as well as the receiver of service, and barriers are bridged. And as Wes Moore told us in November, we have a moral responsibility to each other, to our world, to bridge those barriers. So the outstanding question for each of us at Taft is, how will we live our lives in service to others? In order to help us expand our views about how we can do this, for MLK this year, we have invited back a panel of Taft alumni who have chosen careers in service to humanity. I suspect that through hearing the stories of students who once sat in your shoes, you will not only be inspired, but feel empowered as you learn about multiple ways to give back and serve. Additionally, this year, some of you will work with the Young Heroes program up at the gym. And you know who you are. This is our annual MLK Community Service Day program in which we invite younger children to join us on campus. That is, approximately 100 children from Waterbury, Watertown, Litchfield will join us and learn about MLK's legacy while engaging in sports clinics and academic workshops facilitated by Taft faculty and student assistants. Needless to say, through our MLK Young Heroes program, we are keeping Dr. King and Mr. Taft's philosophy of serving others alive. As I mentioned earlier, one of the goals of this year's MLK program is to broaden our horizons to the depth of Dr. King's work, and more importantly, to show how his work is connected to you. It is for this reason that we chose as our theme this year, Civil Rights in Arts, Sports, and Service to Humanity. Each one of you at Taft is engaged in either the arts, sports, or service work, or some combination of the three. And while I have already talked a lot about how our MLK program this year integrates the ideals of service to humanity, I want to also emphasize the fact that we created a program for you that will allow you to explore the impact of Dr. King's work in the arts and through sports as well. We particularly tried to do this through our choral Vesper service with Mr. Pfeiffer at Woodward Chapel on Sunday evening, through our opening ceremony on Monday morning, and through our film workshops following the ceremony, and then our concluding program of the Multicultural Arts Celebration on Monday afternoon. At our opening ceremony on Monday morning, Stephen Tejeda will be joining us, and he'll perform his one-man show, Boogie Down Journeys, in which he shares his comical stories of transitioning from the South Bronx to life in college. Additionally, for those of you who are not student or registration assistants at the Young Heroes program, you will have an opportunity to explore civil rights through film in the fields of service, the arts, and sports. For many of you, the films you will see will offer you alternative views of the world. While we so often think about teaching and learning through traditional textbooks, the capacity for learning through film is just as powerful. It is my hope that you will go into the films you watch with a really open mind. And in doing this, there's a number of questions that we want you to consider, or to begin to consider and explore. We want you to begin to ask and think about questions such as, what is the filmmaker trying to tell me in this film? What's the messages? What's the themes? Is he or she successful? We also want you to think more critically and ask, how and why might different people understand the messages in the film differently from you? It is through engaging with these types of questions that you open up yourself for a tremendous opportunity to learn and grow, both individually and together. We have a wide range of film offerings this year, and if you have yet to sign up, you have until this evening. Otherwise, I will unfortunately have to sign you up for a film. So for those of you who are not for sure about how to sign up, maybe because you haven't read my email yet, please pay attention to the screen that I'm about to show you, and then check your emails that I sent this weekend. So, it's really simple to sign up. You just have to go to the URL taftnet/sign up. It's in your email. Once you do that, you use your username, put in your password, and then what comes up is the list of films. You choose a film, read through them all first, because once you click submit, your choice is selected for you. Just click on one of the circle next to the film, and then we'll have your submission, and that's the workshop that you'll attend. Your room assignments, as I said in my email this weekend, will be posted on Sunday evening. Lastly, I will conclude with the fact that if you want to attend the prayer breakfast, you should email me as well, because we still have a few seats left. So instead of me, for those of you who were here last year, instead of me concluding this morning with singing a solo, kind of, to you, I thought I'd leave it to the entertainers that you all so love to entertain and inspire us to once again consider how we might live our lives in service to others. So, if you know this song, feel free to sing along, and then I look forward to celebrating MLK Day with you this year. And if you have any questions, please feel free to see me. So again, feel free to sing along.
And wait, just one quick, before you leave, right after this, just stay for a moment.